Do, 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 do. How do you pronounce that, Mike? Hamadul or Hamadul? But good morning, Mike Stevens. I hope you're having a wonderful day today, Mike. Hamdul. Good morning, Francie. All is well here with me, Francie. I hope the same is for you. Kevin Brand, all the way from South Carolina. Good morning, Kevin. Welcome to this morning's coffee brew, everyone. Give it a couple minutes for people to start rolling in, then we'll get this going. Hamdullah. Hamdullah. Good morning, Cement Shoes. I'm not familiar with that. What that means, Mike? What does Hamdullah mean? Forgive my ignorance. Francie, do the ham. Tejas, 409. Howdy, all the way from Galveston, Texas. Well, good morning to everyone in Galveston, Texas this morning. I hope you're having a wonderful week. And thank you for joining me this morning for Coffee Brew. Lemon Pie is here, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, Lemon Pie. I hope you had a wonderful week. Howdy to you. All right. Thank you very much. Now I know what Hamadullah means. I'm probably still butchering the pronunciation or the inflection of how you say it, but forgive me for that. Humidity is kicking all our tails in. Humidity is not that bad where I am right now. I'm sorry that your humidity there is high. Usually next month, July and August, the humidity here where I live just keeps on climbing, especially towards the end of July. It gets really, really bad here. They're having execution in Huntsville on the 16th. Texas don't play. No, they don't. If I always joke, and I'm sorry for my sick, dark kind of humor, but if the state of Texas could have electric bleachers, they would, electrocute, 10 or 15 inmates at the same time. It's cool there for once in New Jersey. There you go. Well, I met somebody from New Jersey, from Hoboken, the other day. It was in a stream, and we're talking about geography. My wife's side of the family, they originated from New Jersey. This is back in the 40s, 50s. They were from New Jersey. They still have family there in Jersey, but they moved out to Vegas, and they weren't in the mob, but they were connected to that lifestyle and that fixing of contracts and waste management, a whole bunch of construction mainly. but they still have family in the Jersey area. But again, that brought up, and the two of us were talking about the New Jersey. It's been probably about 10 years since I've been to Jersey. It's nice there though, for the most part. Oh my God, Tejas 409, the humidity here in Grand Rapids is insane. Yes, you're right, Cement Shoes. Don't mess with Texas. AKA the Walls is a sight to see in person. Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll get the crime recap going here. If I can get this stupid thing there. Every time I move my mouse from one side of the screen to another, it keeps on bringing up a list of different features, and it says, and it's like a list of like 20 different things, and like 10 of them are available to me. But I can unlock the additional 10 if I just start paying them $38 a month. Ha! But they want me to. They're trying to get me to sign up for the pro service. But every time I move my mouse the cursor across the screen, it always brings it up. So then I have to wait for it to time out and go away because you can't click on it anywhere. But anyways, Coffee Brew, crime and chat show. NC-17 parental guidance suggested for all content covered on this channel. If you're under the age of 16, this content is not for you. Others may object to the frank descriptions or alleged perpetrators of the crime. So viewer discretion is strongly advised, and I strongly advise the content for anything you see on this channel. June 22nd, 2024. Police were called to Wally World, i.e. Walmart, in Louisiana for a reported fist fight in progress. Before law enforcement could arrive, one of the parties in the fist fight tossed her 6-month-old son into the trash, then proceeded to connect with a closed fist to the face of the other party. Brianna Benjamin has been charged with assault in the third degree, a misdemeanor assault, 1 felony count of cruelty to a juvenile under the age of 5. That is basically child endangerment, but in the state of Louisiana, they call it cruelty to a juvenile. And then there is certain thresholds that must be met for her to be charged with that. But she threw her 6-month-old child into the actual trash can, so she was actually holding the child when the fist fight started, and then tossed her child into the trash so she could have both hands available to attack the other party. The toddler was checked by medics there at the scene and was released. The other party that she originally started arguing with and a fist fight with is the girlfriend of her ex. I guess they really didn't date, but he was there long enough to become baby daddy number 4. But she tossed the baby into the trash can. Now, it just happened to be the trash can she tossed this child into isn't like a regular receptacle like trash can that you would find in a bathroom or somewhere else where people just might throw paper towels in. This was a trash can that was connected to a service cart that they use for cleaning the floors and for sweeping up around Walmart. So there could have been anything in the trash can. There could have been, glass. There could have been anything in there. And she didn't even care. She just tossed the child into the trash. And the child went in kind of like shoulder first and then head down. So it wasn't like she, took the child and dropped it in by its feet. It was like, upside down, throw the child in, back to the fight. But the other parties weren't charged at all for any type of altercation. It was just Brianna Benjamin who started the fight, according to all eyewitnesses there. She was additionally the aggressor in it, and she was the first one to physically assault and touch the other 2 people One, again, started off with the girlfriend of the ex, and then she's focused in on like both of them at the same time once she had both hands freed. If you would like to read a shortened version of it, here's a link on the screen that you can click on. If you're, again, you must be on a tablet, or a cell phone and watching this stream, but you can click on that link for People Magazine and read a brief description of it. You can also just Google "fight at Walmart, Louisiana," and you can find a lot more articles on there. But again, I try to put links that don't have pop-ups or where the article is not behind like a newspaper paywall where you have to click on it and pay a subscription in order to read the story. Next is Gabby Petito. May her soul rest in peace. Her father has recently announced that he started a nonprofit and plans to expand it once the civil case against the Laundries is over with. And what he's hoping to do is bring awareness for domestic violence to not only firefighters but first responders, and as well. But he wants to start off, and he is starting now with first responders that are firefighters, such as himself. And he wants to bring awareness to these are the signs. You may show up at a scene, and it may not be a domestic violence situation where you see outward injuries, but these are the additional signs of emotional cruelty, controlling behavior, and mental abuse overall. These are signs of, that you need to be aware of on top of before the physical abuse may have started, or maybe that day he didn't hit her, but he wants to bring awareness, and make it mandatory that everyone that is a first responder, EMTs, firemen, police officers, paramedics, anyone who may respond to a scene knows, what signs to look for when interacting with, all parties there, so they can at least, bring awareness to it and let the other parties there, know that there is a way out and there are services available. And they want to start off with a it's like a double fold pamphlet, and that they want to hand out, along with a card where they, business card that's stapled to it, or, for shelters in their area, so they know they can get out. Why is he doing this? It's because the awareness now is, in forefront for the Laundries and for the Petito family, in light of what Brian Laundrie, Gabby had written to Brian before it got to the point where he ended up eventually murdering her. And the signs were there, but nobody really connected the dots. Well, I think Roberta Laundrie, Brian's mother, she knew a lot more about what was going on with their actual relationship between Brian and Gabby, but she kept it to herself. Was she abused at some point in her background, and that's why she didn't want to speak out and she didn't want to interact or try to stop what was going on? We don't know, but there were definitely times when Gabby and Brian both showed up at the Laundrie's home, and when they went to the storage unit and stuff like that where they had their belongings, where she knew full well that Brian was physically and emotionally beating or hurting Gabby, and she never did anything to stop it. So again, if the Petito family is able to prevail, they will. Her father wishes to expand the program even farther beyond firefighters. Right now, it's starting with firefighters, and he wants to expand it to all first responders, and then get a law passed in the state and hopefully eventually federal, that every first responder knows the signs and is able to interact and put themselves in that position where they can at least tell people, look, you're being abused. There are choices out there. You don't have to put up with this. And there is a link there on the screen to WDBJ Channel 7, where you can read more about the actual what her father plans to do. in the future. Again, you must be on a cell phone or on a tablet for it to open up a new window. Right now, if you click on it with your mouse, it may or may not. It all depends on what your settings are for pop-up blockers and opening new windows. But most cell phones and tablets don't have the same restrictions. All right, next one, adoption for profit. This is out of the state of West Virginia. These two pieces of excrement you see on your screen here adopted multiple African American children who were at risk, either as permanent adoptions or temporary adoptions. But allegedly now it has come out that over the course of all the years that they have been adopting these children from high risk situations, they have been using these children as slaves to basically, do everything for them, clean their homes, work, odd jobs, within the community. And then they collected 100% of the pay and gave nothing to these children. Some of them were only in the home for, up to 6 months, and others have been in the home for years. And every one of these children have the same story of forced labor with no compensation at all. And some of them were as young as, 6, 7 years old when they were forced to start, manual labor within the community. That's not, and even younger, doing forced, chores and stuff like that, beyond chores, like, painting, or whatever their child age was and their abilities, but basically enslaving these children. Now, of course, this is all alleged at this point, that, according to the charging documents, but we don't know, what it's going to shake out to. Will they take a plea? Will they, take it to court? Right now, neither one of them nor their attorneys are making any statements on their behalf, and they're basically, keeping, quiet on the whole thing. Here's the link from WHSV. I think it's channel 4 there in Virginia, where you can click on and you can read the story in more detail, or you can actually Google their name. I purposely removed their name from this reporting because it's alleged crimes, and I believe they've both entered not guilty pleas to all the counts that both of them are charged with. But allegedly, that's what they're being charged with. Next, real mom, fake cancer. This excrement actually got me. Yet another reason why people don't have mistrust on the internet. Tara and Noka took onto social media, Facebook, YouTube, X, Discord, TikTok, and GoFundMe to plead for donations to fight cancer. She collected over $36,000, and that was just from GoFundMe. But we do not know, and we will not know until I think the report was about the 11th or 13th, somewhere in there. We'll find out what she's collected in donations from all the other social media sites. Right now, estimates are somewhere between $22,000 and $51,000 additional on top of the $36,000 that she collected. She went online and was asking for donations and said she didn't have health care. All she had was basic Medicaid, and she was fighting cancer. Well, me and my wife actually came across this story and this lady and her story. Originally, it was a live stream on YouTube, and it was being pitched to us both, because she said that she was suffering from the same type of cancer that my wife had. So YouTube, and their infinite effing wisdom, suggested this content to us because my wife is a cancer survivor of the same type of cancer. So here we are, and we get pitched the stream. She's watching it on her laptop originally when I came into the house, and she asked, I want to make a donation to this lady. I want to help her out. We already know how expensive it is to fight this cancer. Some of the medications, like the anti-nausea medication, can cost up to $1,000 a week. A week supply, $1,000 for the anti-nausea medication alone. So we said, I said, well, wait, maybe we'll just kick her some money. What do we have in, in savings that we can afford to give? And I ended up giving her $50 myself. I don't know how much my wife gave. I would ask her, but she's not in town. She's at a convention this week. So I'm sure my wife probably kicked her at least, $50 herself to try to help her out, because we gave out of the goodness of our heart. But now we know that every damn word out of this lady's mouth was a complete lie. YouTube is still refusing to take down the link, or the super chat, or super thanks, or the links to the GoFundMe, or anything that is on the channel. And neither is TikTok or Discord. They're not taking it down either. But X and GoFundMe have both closed everything, along with Facebook. If Facebook, her page is still there, but they took down the clickable link, so you can actually donate to her, ongoing. But another reason why people don't trust anyone on the internet, because you never know what story is real and who's real or what's real anymore. You tune in tomorrow and you find somebody who you've trusted or you've seen around, in the chats and different social media platforms, and you've kind of figured out, in your mind, you made up an impression of like who they are. They're a good person, and then the next day you find out they have cancer, and you're like, I can spare a little bit of money, and you give that money to them. And then you find out everything about what they just told you and what they told the world is fake. This is why people have mistrust in the internet and people that are out there, because we don't really have that complete connection anymore. It's not like your neighbor across the street that when their car breaks down and they need a part that's $20 to fix their car so they can get back and forth to work, and they don't have the $20, and you can give them that $20. But you know where they live. You know their story. You know their kids, maybe. I feel like so I'm picking my words here. The nicest thing I could say. I feel like what she did, besides being absolutely despicable, and preying upon everyone's goodwill, it just pisses me off to no end that somebody would do something like that. And it's happened over and over and over again on the internet. And here's the link in case you want to click on it later on or follow along with it, or you can just Google her effing name. And you can read the article, because it's all over the world now. I even saw an article on Al Jazeera. It's being reported on Al Jazeera's news network, not the U.S. Based Al Jazeera. But all right, now we're to the new feature, fake or real. You decide. And this is how it works: real or fake. Alrighty, folks, gather around the ultimate game of real or really ridiculously fake. I'm about to spin you two yarns. One tale has been plastered all over the news, and it's as real as your morning coffee. The other story, it's been floated around too, but it's faker than a $3 bill. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to figure out which one is real deal. So you're ready to play. You just shout out, put in the comment section, number one real or number two real. You don't need to tell me which one's fake. You just say, I think number one's real, or I think number two is real. And let's see if you've got the detective chops to separate fact from fiction. Story number one of two. 40% of the fun of being a homeowner is never knowing what will break next. The other 60% is fixing what you already know is broken. This past week, a caretaker on the Mount Vernon estate, that's the estate of George Washington here in America, the former president, George Washington, came across a root cellar while trying to fix a leaky water pipe. He discovered the root cellar where jars and bottles of 200 150-year-old perfectly preserved cherries and wild berries have been stored. Is this story the real story, or is number two the real story? Story number two. You only got this one life, so you might as well have fun with it. A man only known as Arnaldo took to several podcasts and radio call-in shows to tell the world that he is the son of Donald J. Trump, that his mother was a former lover of his in Atlantic City, New Jersey, that his father just finally admitted on a Zoom call he is his son, and he will formally admit to it after he is elected again. Is story number one real, or is story number two real? Which one is true? And good morning, Amelia and Gemma. Sorry I missed you both while I was going through this. I hope you both had a terrific week. Thank you for joining us for Coffee Brew this morning. Gianna Marie, good morning as well. Diane, one is real, and good morning, Diane. I'm glad you could be here with us, Diane. I hope you had a terrific week. Story number one or story number two? Which one is real? Amelia says, it's my birthday today, Will. Well, everyone, join with me while we sing Amelia, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Amelia. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Francie, I'm having a puff too. Hopefully it's not our last one and we're able to walk away before it takes us. All right. The correct answer is story number one. There is the link to the Associated Press article if you wish to read more about it. But story number two is fake. There was a madman who did take to several national call-in shows and streams on YouTube and Facebook to say he was the son of someone else, but the story changed on each and every one of them, and he never said that he was the son of Donald J. Trump. This man went on to different call-in shows, radio shows, nationally broadcast, radio things, and said that he was, either a expert in the topic that they were talking about, but somewhere in between, in the stories, he blurted out something about he was related or the son of someone famous. Either it was an actor, a director, a famous law enforcement officer, someone from the FBI. But he said he was an expert in whatever, and so they gave him the talking point, of like being able to make a comment. But then he blurted out something about he was actually famous. So it kind of happened, but it was never about Donald J. Trump. Now, to the 250-year-old bottles and jars of cherries and other berries that were found in a previously unknown root cellar. These berries are so perfectly preserved and that they could be opened and eaten today. Each and every jar and bottle that George Washington had put in the cellar, he hand wrote a label on, of the date of the canning and when it was actually stored. So it's a paper label attached to the bottle, and most of the bottles and jars still had paper labels attached to them. Each one was canned in the normal fashion with a lid and everything else, a mason jar lid. For instance, we'll use like an old mason jar, because everybody knows what that looks like, kind of shape wise. The lid was put on it, and each and every one of them was sealed with wax on top of the normal, method you would use to actually seal the jar. So they were all wax sealed. Now, what's interesting, additionally interesting, 250-year-old berries, but the jars and the bottles with the berries in it, not the cherries, but the berries. All right. Some of those berries that are in those jars are the only known samples of berries that used to live, that used to be found up and down the Potomac River, and people used to pick them, and they were in wild. But it has been over 110 years since any of those berry species have been found in the wild. They are gone because of change of environment, pesticides, whatever the reason is, development up and down the Potomac River. These berries are gone. So something that has gone completely distinct and is not found anywhere in North America anymore. We now have jars upon jars upon jars and bottles upon bottles of preserved whole berries with the seeds that are viable to reinstate that actual berry back into the wild, and up and down the Potomac River. So, maybe in a scientific, they might be able to find some seeds, archaeology, and they're like all dried up, and they tried to split the DNA and make the new berry out of that, and that could take a lifetime to do. Here we have jars and jars and bottles of perfectly preserved actual seeds that could be taken up tomorrow, dried and planted and grown brand new plants. And they have, so in one jar, you may have 100,000 seeds from these berry plants that you could reintroduce all up and down the Potomac River tomorrow. And talk about a win for in the environment and for the people and everything else. And on top of replanting them on the actual estate, Mount Vernon hasn't had any of these wild berry plants on it since they actually made the establishment of the estate itself and preserved it as an historical landmark. It's a major find, and almost no one reported it nationally. All right, so you might be wondering, where is everyone on is it real or fake? So far, but just those people who have answered the question. Obviously, we get a lot more people who don't answer the question. Is this story number one or story number two fake? Then, I hope that we can, increase the participation. Like right now, we should have had 17 to 18 answers, but we didn't. Hopefully, down in the future, we can actually improve upon this. But right now, 49% have been correct, and 51% of those only who have answered, is it real or fake, have gotten it right or wrong. So that's where we're at. Them cherries ended up in Antarctica for research and put away in a rich man's bunker. Where is it? I want to say Norway, or it might be Denmark, where the world's largest seed vault is. In the world's largest seed vault, and that's the little side thing, is they have no actual, and the seed vault is seeds from around the world of different plants. They didn't even have seeds of some of these varieties of different berries that were found in these jars and bottles in this vault, root cellar. They didn't even have them in the world depository. So Antarctica, yeah, I'm sure that they'll probably end up there again. I think a cherry pie is more American than apple pie. Well, that is true, Francie. American pie isn't even really American. The apple pie, as being American, it doesn't even come from America. I believe the history of apple pie can be dated back to England and to Ireland, but it's not even, the Americans have taken things from everywhere around the world and made them our own, because that's what we are. We're the melting pot of the world. And we've taken things and said, well, these are ours and these are American as apple pie. Will, do you think they might have been actually George Washington estate that canned those cherries? Do you think it might have been actually? Yes. Well, they believe that the where the cellar root cellar was found, Francie, it's about 100 yards out to the back of the main home, away from it, and they believe that there may have been at one point another building next to it, but that's been long gone. But they don't have pictures or in actual what you call like topographical map of the entire estate. You have to remember that George Washington, half of his estate was given away, and before they actually made the Mount Vernon estate. But apple pie is British. You are correct, Gemma. Washington loved to play with his berries. The wrong kind of berries there at the house. But it's a. I was watching and trying to check about the story about George Washington and the discovery from the root cellar, and it's like no one. I found a little tiny blip on how was it, not Nova, but it was on PBS. I found a little tiny blip on PBS about it. I found it in a couple other places, but national news, everybody was ramping up to see how much of an ass, these two old men were going to make of themselves in front of a national audience. That's all they wanted to talk about this week, national wise. The native habits of cherry trees is Western Asia and Eastern European, from the Caspian Sea to the Balkans. I did not know that, Amelia. Thank you. I saw today that they're going to try and clone a Neanderthal. Well, good luck with that. If they're ever going to clone anything anytime soon, we're going to get a lot closer, and we're really close right now with scientifically. We're going to be able to clone the woolly mammoth. The woolly mammoth will be the next animal. So we've already done sheep. We had Dolly, if anybody remembers Dolly, the sheep. We cloned Dolly, and people are able to clone their dogs and cats. But the closest living relative to the woolly mammoth is actually a pygmy miniature elephant. It's the closest living relative to the woolly mammoth. Like, we're talking massive to a tiny little elephant. Not even an African elephant. It's like half the size of an African elephant. That's the closest living relative. And what they want to do is they want to clone the woolly mammoth and reintroduce it to Siberia and that part of Russia, because ecologically, if they're able to, it would help the environment. Because while the woolly mammoths, that was where the largest population of them were, they trampled down the fauna and kept it compact. So the ice layers, the permafrost, never got to the point where it's melting. It's melting faster than anything right now. And you can blame whatever you want, 100-year, warming, or if it's human made or human advanced, or I don't care about where you guys stand on any of that. But because, regardless of what you think, science is science. It's not up to, hey, you know what? I think it's this, so that's what it is. But that woolly mammoth is going to be the first one. If you want to watch a really good YouTube channel about animals that are extinct or endangered, there's a YouTube creator. His name is Forrest Gallant. Forrest Gallant. Damn it! I'll just drop a link to his channel, because I always butcher his last name. But he's covered the extinction of the Silacine and of the woolly mammoth on his channel. Go Auntie, I think that's how you pronounce it. but he's a worldwide renowned wildlife biologist. But this is a link to Forrest's channel if you're interested in watching more and learning more about the woolly mammoth extinction. Obviously, I don't get paid for promoting other channels. I do it for all kinds of creators. People who subscribe to my channel, I don't do sub for sub or any of that, that stuff. And whatever, you can insert your own word there. But what I like to promote. Kitty-coo. No, I'm late. Sorry. Hello, everyone. Hello, Kitty-coo, and good morning. Welcome to this morning's Coffee Brew Crime Recap Show. Well, 6 people have already left and no one said goodbye. At least I didn't see them say goodbye. And I'm truly sorry if I missed it. I watch a lot of really eclectic stuff. I don't have like just one interest like in true crime. I follow maybe 4 YouTube channels that are true crime related. But I watch everything from like heavy machinery mechanics to that guy's addicted to buying things at auctions and fixing them up and reselling them, flipping them. To homesteaders, to craft shows, not knitting, not yarn, no, but craft, like people were into like painting, tutorials and stuff like that, to wildlife biologists. I watch a little bit of everything. My mind I can't focus on just one thing like true crime only. Can't do it. Drives me nuts. I've read enough, of the horrific things that people, do to each other in a day-to-day, weekly basis. So, got to find something that takes your mind out of it. I have my Pete's coffee here. Pete's coffee, that's some good stuff. Well, we can't get Pete's here in my local area anymore. We used to be able to. They used to have actual coffee houses, and they used to sell it in the grocery store. But they don't even sell it here anymore in the grocery stores. It's good coffee, though. I'll give you that. I like Pete's coffee. Yeah, where they in the grocery store, most of the grocery stores did away from selling bulk beans or grind your own coffees as well. Right around the time of COVID shutdown, all those coffee grinders and whole bean coffees that they sold in bulk, it's all been gone. They all took it all out. Will, do you have any interest as a kid? What were your interests? What were my interests as a kid? Well, obviously there was no YouTube, back then. Hell, there wasn't any internet, and that's a good thing because I got to do all the stupid things, in life that I did, and there's no video documentation of it at all. When I was younger, auto mechanics. Construction, farming, and then not just watching people farm, but the actual business side of it, and true crime. I've always loved Nancy Drew, the Hardy Boys, the dime store, crime novels that you would pick up at the newsstand next to the checkout counter. I've always had some interest in that. It's never been my 100% desire, though. I got stuck on funny sayings and stuff. I like significant other signs if I can't. Significant. I still watch, some homesteading stuff like this guy. His name is Nate, and his girlfriend. But they're on more on TikTok. He does do YouTube. Hell, even his robot lawnmower has a YouTube channel, and so is his dog. They have YouTube channels. Hundreds of thousands of people subscribe to a stupid robot, lawnmower. I can't seem to get to 50,000 subscribers, but maybe that's what my problem is. Maybe I'm not a robot lawnmower. More people would subscribe. If I could get just 10% of all the people who watch my YouTube channel to subscribe, I would have just over 300,000 subscribers. That's not a joke. It's just 10%. If I got 5%, I'd have 150,000 subscribers. If I got 2.5%, you can work your way down. So, where am I at? Right now, less than, I think it's 2% of all constant repeat viewers, not just somebody who just watches like a short, but they've watched 3 or more of my my videos or content. Only 2% of those are subscribers. Never know. Auto mechanics, construction. Oh my God, such boy stuff. Nothing wrong with that. Taco, spelled backwards, is LO. Oh, sorry, I'm still drinking my coffee. No, these days when Francie, when it comes to like auto mechanics, I watch videos on auto mechanics and channels that do auto mechanic stuff, so I can actually learn from it. And I do. I've learned an awful lot on how to maintain my own vehicles from watching YouTube channels. I just bought my wife another car, um, and well, it was used, and we bought it as private sale. But the guy who had it before her, I don't think he ever cleaned his car out at all. I mean, he took all the big junk out of it, but it was absolutely disgusting, dirty inside. But I've been detailing it, and I didn't know how to properly detail a car. So I started watching YouTube videos on how to detail a car. I don't have all these steam cleaners and stuff like that. I got a bristle brush and a mop bucket. What can I do? How can I make this car look better with what I have? So construction, never know what you're going to learn there. I don't see At Will as a makeup artist growing up as a kid. Nope. Question, why do people not subscribe to a channel they watch? In a lot of aspects, Francie, it's bygone. And I know for a fact that for myself, I can only speak for myself on this thing, but because I have not read anything from YouTube about it. But a vast majority of people, you get out your cell phone. I use my cell phone as an example. Don't look. I'm putting in my password. Don't look. Just kidding. All right, so you've got your cell phone. You want to watch a YouTube video. You go to home, all right, your home page. Well, what's suggested here to you? If I had a new video out today, and here this live stream in an hour will be a new video, and it's something that is interesting me because AI says this is what interests me is these videos right here. And yes, Rob Knowles is that video right there. He is a lobster fisherman off of the Maine area, east coast of the United States. I watch a lot of his videos. I watch Luke, who is a crabber. I like to watch them. So these are suggested. So my video will pop up here on the suggestion tab here in an hour. Well, why do I want to subscribe to the channel? I don't have to, because the next video that comes out will be here on the next up. So when you tune in on your computer, the very top of the thing is the suggestion tab or the next up. It's the same thing. Wow, look, Will's got a new video out. I'll click on that. Or maybe you get a notification that there's a new video in your box, and it says, look, There's a new video by 411 now. You don't even have to subscribe. In a lot of aspects, the subscriber tab in that, and I know for myself, again, a lot of people who are here, you will see in and out, here and in trivia, in live streams, they're not subscribers. It kind of like, I don't know why. I mean, obviously they're here every week, but they're not subscribers because I can put their name, their screen name in on my end, into I hit the subscriber tab and it brings up all the subscribers, newest to oldest. And I can put the name in there and it'll tell me if they've ever been a subscriber or they were a subscriber and they unsubscribed and they were a subscriber and they unsubscribed. It gives me a list of, and grayed out when they unsubscribed or when they became active again. I'm never going to be viral. So I'll never be the next top creator or the new feature creator, which is the next section down on YouTube. If you're on a PC or a tablet, it doesn't show up on a cell phone. There's so much vast difference between a cell phone and tablet and a PC. Only girl on that side of the building. The other girl took cosmetology. I took 4 years of auto mechanics. There you go. In high school, I took welding. I actually became pretty proficient at it. I can't do, even today, I have a welder. I have an arc welder. I got oxyacetylene setup as well. But I only do tiny like repair jobs. I bought the whole damn setup because I wanted to fix a cracked frame on a trailer that I bought. Yes, I have an addiction, and it's called buying trailers. Right now, I only have 4, and I only use 1. Keep me away from Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace. I find a good deal out there, and I look at it, and I'm like, well, some tires, some wiring, blast the thing with paint, redeck it, boom, I could double my money. I can throw 800 into it and make 9, 12 more on top of it all. But yeah, that's my addiction. I've always loved buying things like that, trailers and stuff, and flipping them. But I never took auto mechanics though. But they had an auto mechanics class in high school when I was in high school, but I never took it though. Well, that's good for you for taking the auto mechanics in high school, Kitty Q. I'm sure it's helped you immensely over the years. There's nothing to be sorry about, Francie, about calling it boy stuff. I didn't take any offense to it. I don't think anybody else did either. If they did, that's on them, not you. Clay bars work wonders on removing road tar from vehicle paint without damaging any of the paint. I'll keep that in mind. I've used clay bars for taking smudges, other things like we call it like road rash or whatever, where somebody else bumps up against their car door against yours, and it leaves like a paint mark, or clay bar across that. Take the paint off of your paint, and and I've used it for those. It is. I mean, it served me well over the years. The skill of welding. I've got quite a few friends that are professional welders, and welders and fabricators. I need to watch a video on how to clean a back window and the cloth under it in a Camaro. It's such a tight space. Will, what you going to make for breakfast? Well, this morning, Francie, I already made breakfast. My son got up at 6 a.m. this morning. Now, my wife is out of town. She's out of town at a convention. She is currently in Seattle area. She's not in Seattle itself. That's where the convention is, but she's staying with friends that are outside of Seattle, just outside of the city. They're closer to Edmonton. But anyways, she's there for the TV show Supernatural. It used to be on television that has ended. She's there for the convention this weekend. She won't be home until Monday. But anyways, getting to breakfast. So this morning, my son woke up at 6 a.m. I made him French toast, bacon, scrambled eggs, strawberries, and then we have these little glass ramekins things that we got from Pampered Chef, and I made a blueberry parfait. So it's kind of like whipped cream. It's got 100% blueberry juice and then chopped up pieces of blueberry in it. He loves that. But so that's what I made him for breakfast. I had French toast and bacon. I'm thinking about putting duct tape backwards on a fly swatter. LOL for the cloth part. Oh, are you taking like the burrs off of the cloth? Something I learned the other day about doing body paint. All right, so say you have you did some PBR, maybe you did a skim coat of repair on a body panel. Say it's like the kick panel or something, something down by the rockers or whatever. You did a repair. If you take your tape, your masking tape, I don't have any in here. Yeah, I do. So you have your body panel here, okay? So imagine it's a body panel here. You take your tape, normally you put it up against there, and then this is the area you don't want to get paint on. If you take the tape and you roll it over on itself like this, then stick it on the car, then with it folded over, tear it smaller so I can actually handle it better. So the tape is folded over like this. Now, this is where you don't want to get paint at all because you fix it hard. Or this way, if this is where you don't want to get paint, you fold it over like that, and then you take more tape and you put it on the actual sticky side like this. So you have the tape folded over so it's folded like that. And then this is the area you want to paint, and this is what you're covering off. Instead of it leaving a harsh tape edge when you paint it, if you fold it over like that, it adds like a soft line from where you paint it. I learned that this past week watching, at the Auto Mechanics channel where the guy was doing a repair. It was a rust repair, and he had cut it out and then put a new piece in by the rocker panel. And then after he got it, sanded down and everything else and primed it for paint and everything else, when he went to go paint it and prime it, he did that so it adds a soft edge so you can blend it back in more, so easier. So when you go to paint the final paint, you don't have that harsh line in the paint of where the actual primer and everything else was. So passing along a tip on a true crime channel on how to do painting work. Now, under the back window in my car is a small and tight place. And the Camaros, yeah. French toast, bacon, pancakes, blueberries, parfait. Wow. That's pretty normal, though, Francie. Every morning I make an entire sheet pan of bacon. So in a sheet pan, there's like 12 pieces on a sheet pan. My son, I put 3 of them on his plate in the morning because he loves bacon, or sometimes I do link sausages that I make myself because I've got an actual grinder and I buy the casings and make them. But normally I make a full sheet pan of bacon. So he gets 3 slices. 3 slices then go into a plastic container with a lid, and I put those in the refrigerator because later on if he wants a snack, he can go in and get that bacon. And then my mother-in-law comes over every morning, and we have coffee, and she eats three slices, so that's 9 right there. And then I might have 3, or my wife might have 3. Reminds me of a good eyeliner. Car detailing tutorial. Yeah. Ooh, I made that. Oh, 2 points. Now, under the back window of your car, that is a tight space. Depending upon what year it is, I bet you it's a lot tighter. Later on today, I'm gonna watch some tutorials on refinishing headlights. You know, like the plastic covers on headlights. Right now, it's about 50-50. Half the people say that, to start with a really light grit sandpaper, sand them down, remove like the top coat, then use a green scrub pad um, that you'd have for your kitchen, and go over with that, and then use clear coat. That's half of the people are trending towards that direction. And the other half of them are just use some brake fluid across it. 2017, and it's ridiculously small and tight. Tejas 409 says, Kobe? I ain't no Kobe. Never played basketball. I've played some pickup games here and there, over my lifetime, but never played it, any kind of like, recreational league, as a kid or as an adult. Just wasn't my thing. I've never been a huge fan of basketball itself. I mean, to each their own. I mean, there's a lot of people out there love basketball. Toothpaste didn't work on headlights. LO, tried it. Wait, this is a coffee recap. Is the beer flavored coffee? If you want it to be, Guinness makes a beer. Guinness, the beer company. It's actually not that bad if you like dark beers. They make it a dark beer coffee that comes in a can. I had one not too long ago. I wonder if Biden is going to get replaced. Now, they announced yesterday he has no chance, no desire to step down, or would he allow anyone else, or would the Democratic Party, would they think about replacing him? Even though John F. Kennedy, Jr. said whatever the hell he is, I think he's Jr. Said that he would be willing to take over the Democratic, nomination for in place of Biden. So, but the Democratic Party was just like, "Are you effing kidding me, dude? You're a train wreck. You're more of a train wreck than he is." But I don't like talking about politics. It pisses people off. It does. And that's the entire goal of anything in politics today. You all have to know that. They want you to pit yourself against the other party as much as possible. Whatever you do, entrench yourself down, bury your feet, and don't move. Don't ever accept anybody or the ideas of someone on the other side of the aisle. You are for this person and this person only, and this party and this party only. And don't you dare ever move an inch towards the other person or the other party. That's what politics is all about. And throwing as much crap back and forth to, hurt the other person or other people in your lives. Divide and conquer. It's a lot easier to conquer, society and get everyone to do exactly what you want them to do if you you do that. Because my wife doesn't know what day or time it is, she's calling me. Hello. Great. Doing a live stream. It's Saturday morning. Oh yeah, I know. Crystal says hello. Ooh, you're gonna. She's gonna get a photo op with Misha Collins. What was Misha Collins' name on the show? Cassio. He was Cassio, huh? You're cutting out. You're cutting out. What Castio? Yeah, he was Castio on the show on the TV show Supernatural. She's gonna get a photo op with him today. He used to run was it Gish? He used to run a thing called Gish, but unfortunately Gish ended, and we're all super sad. All right, well, have fun. I'm gonna get back to talking to everybody here. I have to get back inside the house because obviously can't leave the little you know um bundle of terror for too long. He's probably driving his sister nuts. Love you too. Bye. Oh my god, fangirl over here, super jelly. For years, we were all members of Gish, which was a nonprofit that Misha Collins has set up, and every year it was like a scavenger hunt, but you also had to do certain things within your community, like donate 500 pairs of socks to the homeless unit, homeless outreach or a mission or something like that. But so a lot of it was community oriented, like and you got points for doing it. You gave them 500 pairs of socks. You took a picture of the 500 pairs, not necessarily handing them over, but you had to show something with them or someone receiving or whatever, and you got like 20 points. And as your team earned points, you moved up the ladder. But he did it for years, but and unfortunately, it had to end. But that was because of cost and everything else. But she's at the Supernatural convention in Seattle right now. Yeah, it is, Francie. It definitely is. But she gets a photo op with Misha Collins later on today, and she gets signatures, autographs from everyone on the cast who's there. I think there's like 12 of them of 15 who are going to be there. DJ, I want to say DJ Shark or DJ Shar is going to be there as well. He was on Criminal Minds as well. One of the very first he played a serial killer on Criminal Minds. But he was also on Supernatural. Oh, I hope she is Kitty Coo. I hope she is. She sounds like last night when I had FaceTimed her last night as I was getting my son ready for bed, so he can say goodnight to her. It was kind of cute. Last night before he got ready to go to bed, he took his backpack and he's got these little plushies of the cartoon BFDI. So there's like pen, marker, um, uh, fire, or Fury or whatever, but I can't remember all their names properly. But he put them all in a backpack and he wanted to go help. He's like, Daddy, I go help find mommy. I go, what? That's rare. That he put together almost a complete sentence, and properly. I help you go find mommy, but he thought mommy was lost. So we have to kind of watch him really close because the last time mommy went out of town, he called 911 because mommy was lost. So we don't need that again. Yeah, it's a real rarity to get him to put together sentences. He's trying. And if anybody else would have heard what he said, would have sounded like gibberish. But me and my wife, obviously, we've been with my son since he was born, and but um, you have to listen really closely to kind of pick out what he's saying or what he's trying to say. Reichardt, Reichardt is here, ladies and gentlemen. Reichardt, I got about another 5 minutes before I have to wrap this up, buddy. I gotta get back inside because I'm sure my son is driving his sister nuts and she has to go to work today. So it is adorable. It is. Melts the heart. Melts my heart. He's made such leaps and bounds advances, across the board in so many different areas the last year. But we take our pluses with our negatives, just like any parent with raising kids. He feels free to call them. Yeah, he learned that from Vlad and Nikki, um, two little YouTube stars that play out like little skits. He learned 911 from them from watching the video. Their mommy was trapped, so he called 911 because his mommy was missing. It's hot everywhere. Oh yeah, it is. I was talking to my sister the other day. Well, today's Saturday, so Wednesday in Minnesota. She lives upstate Minnesota, and even there, it's hot as hell. It's very rare in the month of June that it would be in the 80s there where she lives. Doesn't get that hot there. It gets humid, very humid, but not in the 80s. Not here. Mine is 0 here tonight. Wow, where Amelia is going to get down into 0. I could deal with a cold, chilly night like that. Yeah, it's got to be, well, 0 is 0, right? Regardless if it's Fahrenheit or or Celsius, isn't 0 0? Cold is cold. Where I live, Amelia, in about a month from now, until the end of um, August, right in there, 1st of September, every day here is pretty much 100 plus. 100 degrees Fahrenheit every day. It sucks. Just walking outside, get into the car, hot as hell. It sucks on to tarp on a hot flatbed trailer outside at 100 plus humidity temperatures. I bet. I'm in Southern California, and we had a couple of days last week where it was 105. Off the side of the southern hemisphere, it's winter there. Mm. That would suck. That have to, those tarps aren't light, not easy to move. I've had a tarp more than a couple flatbed trailers in my lifetime. When I worked for my buddy, he used to own a chemical company. We used to get whole flatbeds of totes, and we didn't have a loading dock, so we would have to everything had to one tote at a time, with forklifts. But these trailers would come in, these truckers would come and pick them up at the port off the railroad, and they wouldn't touch them because first off, they're chemicals, liquid chemicals. So they wouldn't touch them, and all they did was brought them from the railroad to the actual plant, and then they would just detach, drop the trailer, and take off. They didn't want to be anywhere near this stuff because they didn't know what the hell it was. We knew what it was. We told them it was safe. Didn't matter how many times you told them it was safe. They didn't want to be around. But the tarps, we had to take tarps off and everything, ratchet straps, all of it. It ain't fun. New Zealand. I'm in Texas, and we get some 100 days before long, I'm sure. Lemon pie, you and Tejas 409 are in Texas. That's two in Texas at least. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I got to take off. Like I said, I got to get back inside to my son. I hope to see each and every one of you tomorrow. Gayla, Gayla, I got snickerdoodles, Gayla, in my house. My mother-in-law made me snickerdoodles. Almost brings a tear to my eye. I have snickerdoodles. But Gayla, I've got to take off. Sorry. But I hope everyone has a terrific day today, and I hope to see you tomorrow night for trivia. Again, tomorrow night trivia at 4 o'clock, Pacific Standard Time, 5 o'clock Mountain, 7 o'clock on the East Coast of the United States. I hope to see you there for trivia. And between now and then, I hope everyone has a terrific day and stay safe out there. And I will see you all again soon. Bye.